All right, boom, let's do this. Good morning from sunny Los Gatos, California. Welcome to Money Talks. I'm your host, Bill Barheit. Money Talks is my opportunity to have a direct conversation with all of you about what's going on in the crypto markets, the latest with Abra, give you the chance to ask direct questions, and maybe give you a little bit of a personal opinion on what I'm seeing in the markets. Well, as you might imagine, a lot of craziness today. Bitcoin passed 60,000 a couple of times over the last few hours. We'll get to that in a minute. I think before we even talk about the Bitcoin price, I want to give you, I got to get this off my chest. So I think there's this feeling that a lot of what's driving the Bitcoin price right now is this pending ETF announcement. I actually don't think that's the case. Of course, I could be wrong. And it could totally be the ETF announcement. And if it turns out to be a dud and it doesn't get approved, we could potentially see a pullback. Don't know. But I think that this was going to happen anyway. And I think that as I've mentioned to you before, I think we're in this kind of mode where there's a massive supply shock happening. Something like 85% of Bitcoin's total supply is simply not moving. It's effectively under lock and key. That doesn't mean that there won't be profit taking if we hit 75, 85,000, which I think is a good chance this month even, but that's what I think is happening. That having been said, let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is this Bitcoin futures-based ETF. All right. So yesterday, an analyst for Bloomberg, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but it would be Eric Balkanus. He noted that the prospectus for a Bitcoin futures ETF, which was submitted by Valkyrie, was updated on the 13th, a couple of days ago, which is actually a positive sign for a forthcoming approval from regulators. And late Thursday, he noted that the SEC appears poised to let through a Bitcoin futures ETF, which was filed under the 40 Act, which is old securities regulation. And this is a mutual fund structure that Chairman Gary Gensler has repeatedly signaled would have a smooth path to approval. Now, Crypto Index Fund at the same time, Bitwise, filed a second Bitcoin ETF, this time physically backed, meaning they're going to hold the actual underlying, in this case, Bitcoin. So, and that move comes shortly after Bitwise also submitted its Bitcoin futures ETF filing with a company called ETF Solutions, which I think was back in September. And they've had, I think, more than one proposal for an ETF rejected by the SEC. So, and then we have others. Asset management firm Alpha Architect has launched a new application for a futures-based ETF. My understanding is at last count, there's something like a dozen plus myriad Bitcoin ETFs pending approval or rejection. And so obviously for some of these firms, if you don't succeed, try again. And that seems to be more of the strategy these days, is to basically just overwhelm the SEC and maybe through attrition, people will get what they want. I actually don't think that's the case. I think that, how do I say this? Ironically, my take is that either inadvertently or advertently, the SEC is running the real risk of manipulating the crypto markets here, which is the opposite of their stated goal, right? Which is to have efficient, fair markets. Now, what does that mean? Well, first of all, let's talk about why the futures markets matter for crypto. Okay. First of all, if you look at what happened late last year, there was a lot of profits taking going on in the crypto markets via this grayscale exchange traded product based on the premium, where effectively people could sell the grayscale product, buy spot, and pocket the difference, which was the premium in the grayscale product. Now, of course, that product is trading at a significant discount, so that trade is no longer available. However, if the Bitcoin price continues its current run up, this so-called carry trade where you can sell futures and buy spots would represent a very significant kind of arbitrage profit-taking opportunity for markets. So ironically, the SEC promoting what effectively is a derivative as opposed to owning the actual Bitcoin would promote this type of potentially leverageable markets, not manipulation, but certainly taking advantage of what's going on with these derivative products. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just ironic that in a market where, you know, enabling an ETF to simply manage a basket of Bitcoin, which is super easy to do, is not being approved. It just doesn't make sense to me. And it's all about control at the end of the day, right? The SEC wants to control the crypto markets in the United States, if not globally. And this is their attempt to do that because futures markets are regulated by their sister organization, the CFTC. So by basically putting a regulated product inside a regulated product, they're more easily able to exert control. That is not to the benefit of the average retail investor. The average retail investor, if they wanted a tradable security as it relates to Bitcoin, would simply want a Bitcoin-based ETF, not a futures-based ETF. So on the surface, this sounds like really good news. I am not convinced that it's good news. I think it's mostly a nothing burger. And I think that the price of Bitcoin is going to do what it's going to do anyway. And yeah, if it turns out that it's not approved, we would probably get a pullback. But I still think it would be a short-term pullback, just like the China news was short-term, the Tesla news was short-term, et cetera, et cetera. Bitcoin is becoming more and more immune with every day to external news. And the thing that really matters the most right now, in my opinion, is the network effects that we're seeing in the market. Okay, so I've got a bunch of other things I want to talk to you about. We talked about futures markets. We talked about the carry trade. Let me show you a couple of things before I do that. Let me just give you some other really interesting news that I was reading about yesterday. So Cambridge Center for Alternative Finance basically published a study that showed an unbelievably remarkable migration in hash rate out of China to the rest of the world following the crackdowns in the cryptocurrency markets in China. Now, of course, they highlighted that the US is now the country with the highest concentration of Bitcoin hash rates, which is at 35%. But Russia, Kazakhstan are also in double-digit percentages. And those three countries now make up about 50 to 60% of the overall hash rates. And again, I think that the resiliency of the proof of work model in being almost portable, right, shows that one, this is a distributed, decentralized system, which seems to be becoming more decentralized over time. As I said to you about 60 days ago, I think China banning this is probably good long-term for Bitcoin, simply because we don't have a bad kind of actor controlling the hash rates, which is not something we want for Bitcoin. And I think there was a lot of underhanded stuff going on there in terms of companies paying off local politicians to get access to network grids and electricity and whatnot. And I don't think that's happening by and large anymore now that the hash rate has moved outside of China. Okay, but this study is really one of the highest quality estimates of global mining distribution that I've certainly ever seen. Now, it's one study, so I present it with a little bit of caution. But the bottom line is that I'm very encouraged by what we're seeing in terms of this redistribution of the hash rate, and in particular how North America is now becoming a hotspot. And I'm seeing lots of different states now, even within the US, step up to compete. Texas has publicly stated they want to own Bitcoin mining. Now, they're not going to own Bitcoin mining, but the fact that they want to own it means that companies are going to probably end up with a very friendly environment to set up shop there. Wyoming has stated the same thing. Florida has stated the same thing. I'm actually waiting for the first nuclear reactor to be announced explicitly for Bitcoin mining. Then I'm gonna say, okay, maybe we've reached peak euphoria for Bitcoin mining for the short term. But mark my words, it's coming. Okay, so let's talk about what you all want to talk about, which is price action. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen here. Just give me a second. Bring up my trusty charts. By the way, I give a shout out to TradingView. I use them on the show. They just raised money at a massive valuation, something like 3 billion. So kudos to the team there. I really like using it for the show. Of course, I have my Abra app, which is my go-to charts when I'm on the move. And I use TradingView here, but let me show before. Okay, let's cut to the chase here. Bitcoin is not quite at all-time highs, but certainly we hit 60,000. The high today was 60,356, and we are currently at 60,183, which is obviously fantastic. We're in the bull run that we talked about earlier. Remember, I showed you that accumulation phase. Let me see if I can find that. Let me see. I'm going to come back to this one. Okay, so if you remember, if you see this chart here, this shows you that we were basically in this kind of descending wedge pattern, which in a bull run is really bullish. Okay, because it basically just means you've got this unwinding of volatility where the rubber band is winding up for the next bull run. That seems to be what has happened now. And in order for this to be sustained, we're obviously going to want to see a sustained move over the all-time highs, but those are only, those are only a few percentage points away now. So things are looking really good. And I want to remind you, I'm going to go here to the weekly charts. Now, this looks crazy, right? If you basically go back to last year, over here we were at, let's say roughly 10K. We're at 60K, 6X run up. Now, this is a linear price chart. Okay, I'm going to switch to a log chart, right? And give me a second to re-display that. It actually looks like a very, very smooth run up in price when I switch to that linear, log chart, right? Because when you have an exponentially growing technology like Bitcoin, right, it's very difficult to view that in linear terms because the growth looks astronomical. But when you look at it at a log chart, where each basically line in the chart shows you effectively a doubling or a non-linear growth in price, it actually looks like a straight line up. So what I'm saying to you is that in an exponential run, these run-ups look not only normal, but expected. And I think that Bitcoin is headed over here, right, in the next few weeks, which could easily have us at a peak in the high 100,000s in Q1, right? And again, thinking in exponential terms, that is not out of the question. I would expect a significant pullback after that, but Bitcoin is looking really good. I'm going to get out of this log chart and go back to my linear chart, go back to the dailies. Let me show you now. Ethereum has had a fantastic week as well. Let me see if I can get this back. Okay, let's take a look at Ethereum. Now I want to show you something really cool about what's going on with Ethereum. Ethereum hit close to 3,900 in the last couple of days, and is now sitting at about 3,800. So pretty close. I think we're going to see 4,000 soon, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a pullback. But let me show you this. So this is Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So this is Ethereum today, right? The blue line versus Bitcoin's last run up. Look at the overlap in price between the two. It is scary. This is via our friends at GMI, but it is scary how close the price for Ethereum, almost on a day-to-day basis, is matching Bitcoin's last run in that late 2018 timeframe. Actually, in this case, 2017. Okay, and if that holds, which I have no reason to believe it won't, because it's basically held for the last 4 years, it looks like Bitcoin is headed towards the same top Ethereum is headed towards the same top as Bitcoin a few years ago, which would put it in the mid 19,000 range, which is basically about 5.5x from this price over the next 60 days. Okay. And so this is no guarantee for what's going to happen, but we would be crazy not to look at this, given that it's effectively been acting as an oracle for Ethereum versus where Bitcoin was at a similar time frame. Why is this happening? Is there an explanation for why this is happening? I believe there is. This has nothing to do with the intrinsic value in the short term. I think in the long term, water seeks its level, as they say in plumbing, and Ethereum will have a natural price discovery many, many years out. This is kind of in a venture capital-like mode where the adoption rates are astronomical. This has to do with network effects. Okay, you've heard me talk about this before. It's more like venture capital right now than it is something like stocks with discounted cash flows. All right. In this model, you basically get these big run-ups because of the network effects due to the fact that this is the fastest adopted technology in human history. We've never seen anything like this, where it was actually a liquid asset during that massive adoption phase. It happened with Bitcoin. It's happening now with Ethereum. I've looked at a few other L1 altcoins, and they're showing the same exact network effects as Ethereum did 4 years ago, right, during the 2017 run, while Ethereum is now having the same network effects that Bitcoin did at the same time. Okay? It's not a coincidence, folks. There's a reason why this is happening. Okay. Now, at the same time, I showed you the wedge. Let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin seems to be repeating again for the same reasons. It's 2012, 2013 run up. Again, I want to be very clear. I'm not here to be your price oracle. I'm not here to tell you what to invest in. I'm here to simply give you information, right? And the information is not just about investing. I'm also trying to get across to you the fact that we are in the early stages of a sea shift in the creation of a new asset class. We're living in very special times because it's not very often that we get to experience the creation of a new asset class, right? We have gold and precious metals, we have equities, we have real estate, and we now have cryptocurrencies. That is a new asset class, okay? So my point is that here we can see, right, that at about 60,000, which is where we were at probably in late 2012, from an analogous run-up. Bitcoin was at 128. It finished that run-up in 2013 at over 1,000. I remember it vividly. We couldn't believe it. Now, if Bitcoin continues this run-up, and again, look at the white line, how close it is mirroring the blue line. If the same thing happens this time, or if this trend continues, we will see 250,000 Bitcoin in the next 90 days. Now, that's a 4.5x run from here, right? I'm not telling you to go out and leverage up and mortgage your house to buy more Bitcoin. I don't give investment advice. I'm simply here to, as I said, to give you information. And these network effects that we're seeing in the crypto markets are repeating themselves over and over and over again. And there is a reason for this. Okay, so hopefully this makes sense. The other thing I wanted to show you, if I have it here, I thought I had the chart here. Let me see. No, sorry for that one. I'll come back to that one later. I had a chart which basically showed the crypto market cap. Maybe I lost it. I'll try to find it in a little bit. Anyway, so this is, as I said, a model that is going to keep repeating itself over and over again. All right. So if you have questions on this, let me know, and I'll dig in. But again, this is again not investment advice. It's really just meant to be information to show you what's going on in the markets. Okay. So the other thing, let me turn off the screen share here for a moment. All right. So you probably saw last week's show, we announced our Abrabarro rewards program. This is meant to be an incentive system, and I'm going to bring up the app in a moment here. This is meant to be an incentive system whereby we give you the ability to earn outsized rewards by holding your crypto in Abra, by using Abra Earn, by trading with Abra, by referring Abra to your friends. We launched the new referral links this week. So hopefully you're all going out, and let me bring this up while I'm talking. Hopefully you are all sharing your Abra referral links with your friends in order to earn rewards. And cool, this is working. It's a bit of a crapshoot sometimes with this screen share in Zoom. So I'm going to bring up my Abra app. Now, if you have the latest version of the Abra app, in the upper right corner, you're going to see a little rewards button. So I'm going to click that rewards button. And now here, voila, this is my referral page. And if you share this link here, you're actually giving me credit. So what you want to do is you want to copy and share your own link, and you can share the link via any means you want, via email, via text message. And whenever you share, right, Abra with your friends and they install Abra and do a deposit, I believe it's 30 days. 30 days later, you get $25 in Cprx, and your referee, your friend, gets $25 in Cprx as well. Okay, so I think this is a super cool deal. We wanted to get this live before Cprx launches so that you can start accruing referrals. And of course, you're going to get benefits in the system. Here, I've got my demo app. You can see I've got a bunch of money in trade. I've got a bunch of money in earn, and I can, of course, apply for a loan. You're going to get credit when Abrabarro fully launches in a few weeks. I think it's November 15th is the magic day, so 30 days from today. You're going to get credit for everything you've been doing inside of Abra. So you don't need to wait. You actually want to start now because you're only going to get that credit one time. And then after that, you're going to get big rewards for everything you're doing for that first 30 days, okay? First 60 days, excuse me. All right. So somebody was asking, how many Cprx is $25? Well, Cprx actually is a token that will be tradable on exchanges, including Abra, right? So you'll be able to trade Cprx across different cryptos. You'll be able to trade it for Bitcoin, Ethereum, et cetera, et cetera. So it depends upon the value of Cprx at that time. Okay, so we'll see when Cprx launches what the price is. I'm not an oracle, as I said, and it will free float on other exchanges as well. The Crypto Banking Alliance will also be announcing exchange support for Cprx at launch time, and as I said, that will allow the price to be determined by the market. So if you're holding Cprx and the price goes up, you get the benefit of that. You can trade it for Bitcoin. Or even other cryptocurrencies. If you hold it and stake it, you're going to see other tiers. And we're going to show you in the next few weeks what, before we launch, I'll give you some insights into the show, what those different tiers will look like and how that's going to work. And the team has done an amazing job of integrating CryptoPerx into the Abra app experience. And I'm excited to bring that to you. But I wanted to focus today on the referral solution. Okay, so if you're not using the referral system, you're basically throwing away free money. Don't throw away free money. Click the referral link here, share the referral link with your friends, earn Cprx. It's what I'm doing. I've been doing this for quite a while already. I know many of my friends have been doing it. They love it. And you can share it wherever you want. You can post it on Twitter. You can post it on Facebook. You can send it via text, via Facebook Messenger, whatever works for you, okay? If you have questions on Cprx or where this is going, I'm gonna try to focus the questions on the referral solution specifically today, and in the coming shows, we'll dig in more of the use cases. And no problem to answer more questions on Cprx. Okay, so I'm gonna do a few questions now. Let me shut off screen share. We'll come back to this in case we have some questions. I'm gonna turn off the screen share here. Done. All right, let's see. We've got, a lot of questions coming in. All right, so if you have support questions that are generic in nature, you are welcome to post them here. If you have specific support questions for your account, you're better off clicking the Contact Us button from the app. The response times are phenomenal right now. And yeah, so everybody that I talked to has mentioned that the response times on support are really, really good. So use the system, well-staffed, well-trained team, and they will get back to you as soon as possible. And let's see, so let me answer a couple of questions. Let's see. Here's a comment. Miguel says, there's a world clampdown of financial powers that want to prevent any sort of Web 3.0, and Bitcoin, even though quite separate, is still the mother of it all. I think that when it comes to decentralization and decentralized systems, which is where all this is headed, there's very little that people can do. And so I think that regulators in the old school sense are going to have a very difficult time keeping up. Let's see. So Gary, I'm not sure I understand your question about who's going to pay for it. Maybe you can re-ask the question and be more specific. Happy to answer that. Lots of questions or requests, as always, for listing different tokens. I don't comment on future listings of tokens here. You can use the app to request tokens, and we will get back to it. Let's see. So somebody's asking, what is the max supply of Cprx tokens? What is the price that will be placed in the token when it becomes available to the exchanges for the first time? So right now, well, first of all, the fixed float forever of Cprx tokens is 3 billion. 30% of that will be granted to, approximately 30% of that will be granted to Abra. For the sole purpose of using as a rewards token for our customers. There's no pre-sale. We're not selling the tokens. They're being given to you, our users, as part of the Abrabarro program. Our guess is that the initial price will be in the 8 cents range. But as I said, the price will free float on exchanges. Okay. And so there's no guarantee as to what the price will be over time. But I'm guessing that the more all of you stake these tokens and keep them locked up, the higher the price will go, and you'll get significant rewards for doing that. But again, there's no guarantee there. So let's see. Yes, Christopher got it right. Thank you for clarifying that for your friends here online. What is Abra going to do when Ripple wins the court case and the SEC, FCC gets exposed for putting, okay, so I'm going to skip the rest of that. And look, Doug, I wish we didn't delist XRP in the first place. It wasn't my choice. And I hope that our partners that delisted it, relisted again so that we can bring it back to you. I don't think it's a security. I think Ripple, the company, may have done security sales to fund the company, but that's different than the cryptocurrency, which I think is sufficiently decentralized in terms of its retail holdings now. And I think we should be listing it. And I hope that the companies that we partner with will relist soon, but I have no insights as to what their plans are. Okay. And if you have a support ticket and you're confused because you didn't get a response, it could be that you either have multiple tickets or something else happened, and you should definitely recontact support. And if you want to mention the old ticket number, that's fine. We will get back to you, but the response times right now are excellent. So don't be afraid to contact support. All right. And yes, if you spam the live chat, we are going to block you. So please don't do that. All right. And so Patrick, just to be clear, Cprx has not launched yet. The target listing launch date for Cprx, as we were told on the different exchanges, will be November 15th. And that's the day that we will start accruing Cprx for new transactions. and we'll also do the airdrop and also give you credit for things that you've done in the past with Abra. Okay, so Abrabarro sounds like a winner. Thank you, John. We agree. Let's see, we've got some other questions here. All right. Yeah, getting a lot of repeat questions. So a lot of questions on how you're going to be earning CPRX in the app itself by trading and other things. So we're going to publish, if you saw the presentation last week or watched Money Talks, I gave you kind of an overview of how it works with trades. You're going to earn, I think that the amount is 2.5% back in CPRX, which is huge. You're going to get a 5% bonus on Abra Earn for each of your products, for your stable coins, for Bitcoin, Ethereum, which means your interest rates are going to go, effective interest rates are going to go through the roof when you add the CPRX rewards on top, and other rewards that we're going to be announcing with the launch. Okay. And Mark, yes, this is an ERC20 token which will be running on Ethereum. It is not a fork. We will be looking, well, not we, but the Alliance will be looking at other blockchain technologies in the future, or potentially creating their own, depending upon what happens with Ethereum 2.0 and other things that they're looking to do. But for now, it is an ERC20 token at launch time. And let's see what else. All right, so Pax dollars, I'm not sure what the question is. We support Pax dollars inside of Abra, as well as for trading, as well as Abra Earn. I use them. Yeah, so you can use Pax dollars, and I think we only support the Ethereum addresses for those. If that's the question, I'm not aware of another address format, but I could be out of date there. Okay. All right, keep the questions coming. I'm going to take a little break from questions. I'm going to get back to a couple of demos here that I wanted to do. So let me bring up the app again. Share screen. I got a question here about depositing funds. So cool, let me just walk you through how to get set up with Abra Earn so that you can get those rewards. So I'm going to share my screen. And give me 1 sec. So if you want to go from your bank account into Abra Earn, right, the way you do it is you see the Add Money button at the top of the screen. You click Add Money, you click Bank ACH Transfer if you're in the US, or Bank Wire Transfer anywhere in the world. So I'll click Bank Wire Transfer, and you click Bank Wire Transfer again. These are my specific instructions. You need to get your own because the codes here are specific to my account, right? And this is where you wire the money to. That will show up as TrueUSD in your Abra app, and you can convert it either to other stable coins, cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, et cetera, directly inside the app. And then you go into Abra Earn. I click on transfer at the top of the screen, and I can transfer Bitcoin. Let's say I'm going to transfer 0.01 Bitcoin into Abra Earn. I click confirm. I've now added 0.01 Bitcoin into my Abra Earn interest earning account. Okay, so it's that simple. And as I said earlier, the interest rates that you get on Earn are going to have a 5% kicker over the first 60 days in CPRX. They'll have a permanent kicker in CPRX, but that number will then, after 60 days, be dependent upon which tier you've earned in the membership for Abrabarro. Okay, and we're going to show you in the next couple of weeks what those tiers look like. But for the first 60 days, the rewards are going to be huge. All right, so yeah, all right. Let's see. So yeah, Cardano, ADA support, and Abra Earn. I can only apologize for the delay. I thought we would be live a little bit sooner, but we should be live either today or early next week. But it's coming very, very soon. All right. So good news there. I'll be putting some some Cardano in the next few days into Abra Earn as well. So really excited about that. And let's see what else we have here. So the other thing I wanted to show you in the Abra app, I showed you the rewards, right? I showed you the rewards button, right? Timothy says the ACH and wire transfer work fantastic. I agree. Thanks for that. But I showed you the rewards button here, right? So I click on rewards. I've got my link. I can post that by clicking the share button to any message, to any app. I can post it to my internal Slack. I can post it to Telegram. I can post it to Signal. Whatever app I'm using, I can post the link directly to just with one click inside the app. Super cool, and start earning $25 per customer that signs up. The other thing that you should keep in mind is that you can immediately, right, once CPRX launches, transfer CPRX to any other token. It's going to show up in here. You click on exchange, and just like you can convert, here's my PAX dollars, which I can convert to Bitcoin, I'll be able to convert my CPRX to Bitcoin as well. Okay, so effectively what you're doing is, if all you care about is stacking sats, you're effectively earning free Bitcoin, right? Now, I'm going to hold my CPRX because I get other rewards as my CPRX balance goes up, right? Because the interest I'm earning on my Ethereum and on my Bitcoin and on my stable coins is actually going to go up significantly the more CPRX I hold, but you don't have to hold it to earn a benefit from it. You can simply trade it back for your favorite crypto asset or for your favorite altcoin, okay? So now remember, you have to go through the registration. If you're a new user, and Nell is asking, how do you do the KYC in Abra? When you're a new user, at the top of the screen, it's going to ask you to apply. Then you simply click on the apply button and you go through the normal registration that all of you have probably done already. But for those of you who are new, it's simply going to ask you to provide your personal details, upload your ID. Abra doesn't store it, it goes to our partners. And once you're verified, you now not only can trade, deposit your cryptocurrencies, deposit from your bank account, deposit cash. If you live in certain countries, you'll be able to earn CPRX as well. All right. Manuel says that you can't send the invitation link in Messenger, which I think is Facebook Messenger. Yeah, I'm aware of that. Because the link basically forwards to the app stores, they seem to be blocking that. It's very annoying. It has nothing to do with Abra. It's a limitation of Facebook Messenger, and we're going to work on a workaround for that, but it's not Abra. So anyway, sorry for that. It should work pretty much everywhere else. And if you have other issues, definitely let support know. But we've gotten a lot of feedback on the link working well, the referral link. But we have seen some issues with Facebook Messenger, which we're aware of, okay? All right, so can you use Abrabarro to buy more Bitcoin? Yes, you can. Once you have the funds in your account, they're your funds, right? You have to pay it back, of course, but you can do whatever you want with it. We're simply holding the collateral that you use to get the loan. So if you want to withdraw the dollars to your bank account and use it for paying for college or paying for a down payment on a house or a car, that's up to you. If you want to use it to buy more crypto, which is something I've done, then that's fine too, okay? But just be smart, right? Because effectively what you're doing is you're leveraging yourself, which, you know, if you're over levered is a really bad idea because you can get liquidated very quickly. Okay, so if you do that in very small amounts, it's probably okay, especially if you have the capital to back up the collateral. But if you don't, be very careful. Okay, but the answer to the question is yes, you can use Abrabarro to buy more cryptocurrency, any crypto that's supported in the app. All right. All right. So lots more questions. How about a quick view on performance of holdings? Jeffrey, that's something that we've talked about a lot. The issue there is that the majority of people who use Abra actually deposit cryptocurrencies from other exchanges into Abra. They do that because we have more altcoins that they want to trade. They want to earn yield in Abra Earn. They want to borrow against the Bitcoin and Ethereum. But because you bought those cryptocurrencies somewhere else, we don't know what you paid for them. So giving you a snapshot on performance is very difficult if I don't know what you paid for something. In other words, if you paid $1,000 for Bitcoin several years ago and it's gone up to 60,000, you've made 60x on your money. If you bought it last week on Coinbase at 50,000, and I don't know that, I don't know what performance to show you. So we may at some point add the ability for you to type in what you paid in order to get that snapshot, but figuring out how to make that look and work for all of our users is actually really complicated. So great feedback, great idea, something that I would actually love to use myself, but we haven't quite figured out how to make it easy to use for everyone just yet. Okay. Let's see. Alan asks, how is Abra protected from attacks on third-party vendors that we use? Alan, it's a great question. So let me talk about security for a moment. There's multiple layers here. And before I get into that, the first thing I have to mention, and since I'm still in screen sharing mode, I'm going to show you again. Please, please, please turn on two-factor authentication inside of Abra. All right. It is smart. It's the right way to use a banking and crypto app, and it protects you. So if you go click on the menu at the top left, which I'm going to do now, you see where it says, I think it's the 6th line down, wallet security. Click on wallet security, see where it says two-factor authentication. Now, in my case, it's already on, so I don't need to turn it on. You click on it, you turn it on. I use Authy. You can use Authy, you can use Google Authenticator. There's other versions. I think Microsoft has one. Pick your favorite two-factor authentication app that's compatible with Google Auth, set it up. If you're smart, use a separate device for the second factor. Get a cheap Android phone that you can lock up somewhere, and that prevents anybody who steals your phone from being able to withdraw your funds, execute a trade, or anything that gets funds off of the app. Okay, sorry, not executing trades, but withdrawals and transfers. Okay. All right, so set that up. It's kind of related to Alan's question, but I wanted to get that out of the way. So let me, I'll turn off screen sharing here while I'm speaking, and then we'll come back if there's related questions. But back to Alan's question about partners and outside vendors and security. This is a really important question. So when we have a new partner in Abra, all right, we do effectively a security audit, right, based upon the available information, right, whether it's for trading, whether it's for custody in Abra Earn, whether it's for a new banking partner, for Abrabarro, or whatever the case may be. All right. Generally, we're using those services via APIs, which gives us a reasonable amount of control on your behalf. Right. We're not moving funds, without being directed by you to do that, unless, of course, it's Abrabarro where we're holding the collateral. But in general, we're accessing those functions via API, so we can do significant testing on those services in advance. The other thing we're doing is the funds are really spread around across lots of different places. It's almost, there is no such thing as a one-stop shop to hack Abra or even any of our partners to steal your crypto. They aren't residing in one place. They're in lots of different places at any one time based upon different things that are happening. Okay, and that kind of obfuscation or security through obfuscation is very helpful here because yes, centralized intermediaries are security risks. Okay, and anybody who says otherwise is not being honest or intellectually honest for sure. And one way to do that is our security practices of audits and using the APIs that we use to manage the movement of those funds. And the second is a layer of obfuscation that actually uses lots of different partners as well. Okay. And so great question and something that we take very seriously at Abra. Let's see what else. Lots of positive comments on Cprx, the launch news last week. We have so many things. I'm actually holding back right now because I don't want to give too much away. I wanted to focus this week on the referrals, and we'll talk about other features for Abrabarro and the CPRX token in the coming weeks. Do I think BTC will consolidate once this upcoming bull run is over? So Stanford, as I said, I think that you have to look at this in kind of a log chart because we're going ballistic here, which is kind of vertical. And when you look at it that way, the pullbacks actually, and going sideways, which is more or less what happened from May to August, don't really seem that extreme. If you look at it in terms of like linear growth, yeah, it's up 6x and it pulled back 50% in July, but in a log chart, it just kind of looks like it's going up and to the right. And I think that's going to continue for a couple of years. I think what's going to happen is look, in December, institutional investors tend to take profits. Hedge funds tend to take profits. In January, you get a lot of new money coming in, they rebalance. So I could foresee a model where we get a little bit of a pullback in the markets in December and then scream higher again in Q1 because we haven't really finished the current bull market, and then go sideways for months. I just don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm telling you, these run-ups have a consistent pattern to them that I showed you before, okay? And usually that pattern points to kind of a sideways accumulation, another run-up, sideways accumulation. I don't think that can go on forever, but that seems to be the recurring theme right now. All right. JF asks when we can expect Abrabarro, when we can expect Abrabarro in Canada. I don't have an exact date for you. I know the team is working on it. When it's available, we will announce it right away, but I apologize that we don't have a date for you. Tom asks, are we going to Money 2020 this year? Tom, I don't think so. Money 2020 is more of a fintech conference and kind of less of a crypto event these days. They do have some crypto stuff going on, but it's not really as relevant to Abra and all of you as the crypto specific events. Although we'll be doing, by the way, we're going to be at Art Basel this year, which I'm really excited about in Miami. As you know, Miami's become a real hotbed for crypto, and we're going to probably be doing some events there, and we'll have more to say about that. So those of you who are either in Miami, going to Miami, I love Miami that time of year. So I'm looking forward to that. And all right, let's see, what else do we have here? Can CPRX be purchased at launch immediately? Again, Michael, to be clear, it's going to be just like any other listed cryptocurrency in our app or in other exchanges. You can go from cash to CPRX or stable coins to CPRX. You can go from CPRX to Bitcoin, Bitcoin to CPRX. And so if you deposit money from your bank account into Abra and you have stable coins, you can immediately purchase CPRX and stake it in order to get the rewards and the benefits of anything going on there. All right. So, I forgot to show you, and Pamela reminded me, so I'm going to bring my screen share back up and do one last demo for today. So let me bring my trusty screen share up here, Mr. Wizard. So here we go. There we go. All right. So most of you actually come into Abra via existing crypto holdings, right? You've got Bitcoin somewhere else, or your favorite altcoin, or Ethereum, et cetera, and you want to move that crypto to Abra. So instead of depositing cash from your bank, you're actually depositing crypto, all right? So Pamela, I'm going to show you that right now. On the upper left, you see where it says add money, looks like a bank. The third line down, it says deposit cryptocurrency. So hopefully you see that. I click on deposit. Now you can deposit any supported cryptocurrency that Abra has listed here from an outside wallet or exchange directly into Abra. Okay, so if I want to deposit Ethereum into Abra, I click on Ethereum, I click on agree. I can copy this address into my exchange account, right, when I withdraw the Ethereum, and it will get sent to this address. And in a few minutes, you'll get a push message if you have notifications turned on. Always make sure with Abra you have notifications turned on. It's very important. Not to mention, Monday mornings are my favorite time of the week because I get all these push messages about my free crypto that I got through Abra Earn. So definitely turn on notifications. It's awesome. Okay, so you click copy, you paste that into the exchange, you do the withdrawal in the exchange, and the Ethereum will show up in Abra. Okay, hopefully that's clear. All right, and again, you can use any supported crypto here and withdraw that crypto from the exchange or wallet into Abra. All right. Elizabeth asks, at the end of the year, do we send out a 1099 for taxes? Yes, we do. 1099 is a US specific document for residents and citizens. If you have, I believe the threshold is $600 in interest, you will automatically get a 1099. Michael asks, I don't have the CPRX app, why not? Michael, CPRX is the new rewards token inside of the Abra app. When it launches on November 15th, you will see CPRX listed. In the meantime, at the top of the app, if you have the latest version, you can earn rewards through referrals, and you will continue to accrue the CPRX through those referrals, which will then be deposited into your Abra app on or around November 15th. So hopefully that makes sense. All right. I love that all of you are answering each other's questions. So cool. This is a great community, and I really appreciate that. So please keep doing that. And Chris mentions no staking yet on ADA. I'm aware of that. I'm embarrassed. I set the wrong date there, and the team corrected me that we're on it. We were hoping to get it out today, but very, very soon. Okay. So my bad for setting the wrong expectation there, but the team is definitely testing CPRX. Dar asks how to turn on notifications. Dar, that is a phone specific thing. So you go into the settings for your phone, right? For an iPhone, you go into settings, click on notifications, you scroll down to Abra, and you turn on the notifications for the app via whatever settings you want. You can have them on your lock screen, you can have them flash a pop-up window. That's again, it's a phone specific thing. You go into settings for your phone, go to notifications, and turn on notifications for Abra. All right. All right. So let's see, a couple more questions. I love the feedback on CryptoPerx. Way more excitement. By the way, we had huge deposits this week. So many people getting ready for CryptoPerx. One of our, certainly since the euphoria back in the markets in April, May, certainly the best deposit week we've seen in quite a while. So thank you for the support there. I actually was a little surprised at how quickly it happened. I had a feeling the deposit numbers would go up, but they went up almost overnight. So I'll be honest, even I wasn't expecting that. But of course, the team has done a great job there. All right, so yeah, so Patrick, you got it right. So if you hold enough CPRX, you're going to get a huge bump in interest. Now, everyone is going to get that 5% kicker in the early days, everyone. So with today's rate of 3.15% on Bitcoin, we're going to add 5% over the first 60 days. That's 5% annualized, of course, but 5% over the first 60 days effectively gets you over 8% interest on Bitcoin. No one comes close to that, right? If you're holding USDC, which is the most popular US-based stablecoin now, you're going to get effectively 13% interest when you combine the interest we pay you in USDC at 8%, plus the 5% that we're going to pay you in CPRX. To my knowledge, no one comes close to that. Keep stacking the CPRX, and once the 60 days is over, you're going to have a membership tier. Excuse me, lost the screen there. You're going to have a membership tier, which is going to continue to give you awesome rewards paid out in CPRX. Okay, we're going to keep repeating this. If if what we're saying on CryptoPerx isn't clear, we have a website dedicated to CryptoPerx. You can get in on the airdrop. How do you get in on the airdrop? All right, we have a Telegram group set up. There's a link on the Abra.com website. Let me turn off this screen share. All right, I'm going to stop sharing this screen, and I'm going to bring up the Abra webpage here. Give me 1 second. So if you go to the Abrabarro webpage, right, on Abra.com, right, let me bring up screen share again. This is super cool, right? This is really, I mean, this is about as big of a gift as you can possibly get for doing almost nothing except being a friend of Abra, right? So here's the Abra webpage. Hopefully you can see this. You see where it says Abraperx at the top of the screen in Abra.com. I click on Abraperx rewards, right? This explains the details, right, of how Abraperx works. You're going to get the referral for referring a friend, cash back on trades, bonus yield on interest paid out, negative rates on loans, which means we're actually just going to give you cash back in the form of CPRX just for taking a loan. It's effectively free money, right? We're going to take 150 million, let me repeat that, 150 million of these CPRX tokens and simply give them away at the beginning. So how do you get these free tokens? All right. So we have an airdrop. You need to download the app, right? And you scroll down here, it explains all of the different ways you can earn tokens during the airdrop, right? Download the app, et cetera, et cetera. And there's a web page that you can go to. Maybe somebody from the team can post it in here. I don't think it's linked on this page. There's a web page you can go to where you sign up for the airdrop and you basically join Telegram and link your Twitter account and a bunch of other things. And you can basically get free tokens. All right. So I also think there was an email that went out, and we'll probably send out a reminder email, right, with those links, and you can earn free Cprx tokens through that airdrop in the coming days. All right. I did it. It was super easy. It took me like 90 seconds to get it set up. All right. So go to that Abra.com page, lots of free information there, and make sure you're in Abra now to get those rewards before the Cprx token launches in November. All right. So C. White asks, do I lose the benefit of the CPRX airdrop if my deposit happened before the announcement? No, you do not. So we are actually going to do a one-time reward for existing Abra users based upon how much you haven't earned in trade, what you've done in the past, et cetera, et cetera. So you do not lose out if you were already an Abra user. All right. Pedro asks if we're going to be launching Face ID support. Yes, we're testing it now. Should be launching very soon, and you'll be getting an email about that. It's a fantastic another layer of security in the Abra app. So looking forward to that. And let's see. All right. So again, fantastic job to the support team. They're answering questions here. They are answering questions via the contact us function in the Abra app, and use them. Great team. Great job, Abra team, on the Cprx referrals. I'm really excited about it. I've seen demos of what's happening. And of course, when I say demos of what's happening, I've seen demos of what Cprx integration inside the Abra app is going to look like, and it is awesome. All right. And by the way, as we're talking here, we're now at, I believe, 61,000. So we're at 61.5. So that's a 7% run up in Bitcoin today, looking really good. There's the daily charts. As you can see, really big run up this week. And we're clearly out of that accumulation phase that we were in. So if I go back to the weekly chart, bring this up here, right? You can see we were in this kind of sideways accumulation phase. We're out of it. Now, that doesn't mean we won't have pullbacks, but I think if we get a clear break of the all-time high, I wouldn't be surprised if we have a big, big run up into low 80,000s in the next couple of weeks, and then a pullback from there into the 60s again. Nothing goes up straight, folks. It's just not the way it works. Okay, I am not actively trading Bitcoin. I hold it, and I actually don't even look at the price more than once or twice a day these days, even though it's my day job, right? So I just know that long term I'm going to be rewarded for holding. That's my conviction. Okay. All right, so we're already at an hour. Again, get set up with the Abra app, start earning CryptoPerx now. I'm going to stop the screen share here and get set up with CryptoPerx. join the airdrop, join the Telegram group, right? We've got Abra folks in the Telegram group now, right? Answering questions. If you look at the Abra Twitter feed, it has all the links that I'm talking about. It has the link to the Telegram group. It has the link to the airdrop. You must follow Abra on Twitter. It will help you get this free CPRX. Click follow and subscribe on Twitter, and especially on the YouTube channel. We're gonna have videos that we're gonna publish specifically on CPRX and Abrabarro in the coming weeks. That is the best way to find out in real time how to basically get free money. All right. So in the meantime, have a great weekend. We're gonna do a little pumpkin patch visiting, maybe carve some pumpkins. It's Halloween time here in the United States, and maybe some of you celebrate Halloween in other countries, I don't know, but fall is in the air, and we're gonna enjoy it a little bit. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the ride. It looks like we may even hit 62,000 Bitcoin in the next day or so. And like I said, expect pullbacks, buckle up, but it looks like the volatility in the markets is back. If we get this ETF announcement on Monday, I wouldn't be surprised if we have a bit of a sell-off. You've heard the rumor, buy the rumor, sell, or you've heard the saying, buy the rumor, sell the news. I wouldn't be surprised if early next week we get a little bit of a pullback just on that kind of lack of euphoria over a futures-based ETF leading to a sell the news kind of situation. But again, it's not going to matter, folks. Bitcoin is going to do what Bitcoin is going to do. Neither China nor the SEC nor anyone else is going to stop us at this point. Okay. All right. Have a great weekend. Thanks for your support for Abrabarro. Thanks you to the Abra team for the awesome work. And we will see you all next week on Money Talks. Take care, everyone.